Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, the Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Las Vegas, Michele Fiore, joins us for the whole show on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Safety is the #1 priority for the trucking industry. Over $7 billion a year is spent on technology like this electronic eye that will apply the brakes automatically. But the most important factor for safety is the truck driver. These hardworking men and women who safely move over 70% of our nation's freight and 94% of Nevada's. We thank you because trucks move America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Michele Fiore. She is Mayor Pro Tem of Las Vegas and also a Las Vegas City Councilwoman in Ward 6. A pleasure to have you back on the program. Sorry about the circumstances, Michele.
Actually, it's all perfect, Sam. Thank you so much.
You took a bicycle ride with Councilwoman Victoria Seaman yesterday through Las Vegas along with Strip. What were your thoughts as you did that?
I was sad. I was sad, #1, because in a normal situation, I don't think I could ride a bicycle up and down the Strip. #1, I'm not a good bike rider, so I would crash into all of our tourists. But the most important part of the sadness is people not working. And so all of the casinos are closed, there's securities outside, just making sure nothing happens to the casinos. But some of them are boarded up, and like we biked past Prada and there were no beautiful bags in the window to look at. And and I look at that emptiness, and the #1 thing that comes to my mind is, where's the people that work there? Are they getting their checks? Are they getting unemployment? So it breaks my heart that people that were already struggling are now even worse, because the unemployment system that we have here in Nevada is, so what I've heard is quite antiquated. And so, and I personally, my 26-year-old daughter, who's a cocktail waitress at MGM, still can't get the full-time. She's a full-time cocktail waitress at MGM. She made $3,000 in a week. I mean, it's a lot of money that is lost, and she still cannot get through the unemployment system. And what day are we in? We're over a month in now, and it's really so if I know my own daughter who's having her struggles, just think, Sam, how many other people are having their struggles. We've delivered food to people that have called. The county has delivery with dignity going on. So Arnie Stock is always a great help to give food to anyone. And it really breaks my heart that we're going through this.
Let's talk about the homeless situation. Las Vegas got a lot of heat for what was happening at Cashman with marking out the parking lot for people to sleep on the asphalt. But that has improved a little since then, correct? Would you share that with us?
Absolutely. So what happened was Catholic Charities closed down. And when Catholic Charities closed their doors, they displaced 700 people. Just boom, just displaced them in a, like at that day. So when we had to figure out where we're going to put 750 people, there was, and all of our other shelters from the Salvation Army, you know, to all of the other, to our core door of hope, we needed a place for an additional 750 people. So the only place safely to where we could have them spaced apart was, I suppose, Cashman Field. With that, I know that they ordered mats and they ordered, you know, all of the things that we had to have. But unfortunately, because Catholic Charities shut down, all of their bedding we couldn't use because they had to sanitize it. So, and you know, it's a very sad situation, but thank goodness, you know, thank goodness we pulled it together within 48 hours.
Let's talk about something a little controversial, which was the mayor's comments about what's going on with the lockdown at this point. Where do you stand on this? Because she's gotten a lot of pushback.
You know, so what I'm going to tell you is, you know, the squeaky wheel, you know, that whole thing, a lot of people will come out and attack our mayor. And I have to tell you, it's really unnecessary, because when you look at the people that support her quietly but are afraid to say, we get phone calls, Sam, people cannot get through to the state. And when I say people cannot get through to the state, I trust, but I verify. I personally myself, as an elected official, as the mayor pro tem of the city of Las Vegas, called the state, tried getting through to the state. It's not happening. I personally, because my kid couldn't get on unemployment, tried it myself. Because, you know, as a mom, I'm thinking, maybe she's doing it wrong. No, she's not doing it wrong. Totally ill prepared for this shutdown. We have people that are still, to this day, including my own daughter, that are still not able to get on the unemployment and get help, or get, you know, or get her unemployment check. And she's been out of work now a month. So it creates financial burdensome. And what happens in a household when, what's the number one fight in a house is money, is finances. So it's really when people call and they just feel like their dignity has, you know, been touched, and it's heartbreaking. Our mayor is like the mother to everyone. She wants everyone to be happy, and she wants everyone to be healthy, and she wants everyone to be okay. There are landlords out there that if you don't pay the rent, they're telling you, well, by next month you're going to have to pay 2 months of rent. So not all landlords are working with the tenants, and not all tenants are working with the landlords either. Because this directive has been so confusing, so horribly confusing, we have folks that just decided, the governor said I don't have to pay my rent. I don't have to pay my rent. Instead of and that's not what the governor said at all, Sam, but that's how they took it, all misinformation. So instead of the tenant calling the landlord saying, listen, I just got laid off. This is my situation. You know, I don't know how long the coronavirus is going on. You know, these are things, when my constituents call and say, Michele, I tested positive for corona, I'm fine, but I'm not allowed out of my house for 14 days. And, you know, I'm not a hoarder and I didn't prepare. So how do I get food? So we went Costco shopping and spent a few $1,000s and literally prepared boxes of food for my constituents. Thank goodness. And, you know, it's not a large number just from the people that I have served, which is only the number 14 as of today, Monday. However, as this continues, and it gets worse, because remember, a lot of people have received a paycheck with employers that would pay them. Now what happens when that time period ends, right? What happens when our city employees blow through their sick pay and their vacation pay and the 80 hours that we gave them on top of it? And then all of a sudden we can't put them back to work because all of the tax revenue isn't coming to support the city. what happens then? We're looking at a 6% cut across all of our unions, a 10% cut on public safety, and a 20% cut for like myself and everyone else. And gladly, I'll take a pay cut to make sure my people have jobs, gladly. But what happens when people that don't have jobs and all of that money runs out? I'll still be feeding them, and we'll still be negotiating with all the utilities and the landlords, because this is, the cure cannot be worse than the disease, Sam. That's not original from me. I've heard, and I'm sure it was maybe said in different words, but our president has stated that many times.
Do you look to the federal government to think that, as we're discussing this, they're looking at a fourth round of funding, and that would go towards mainly small businesses, and potentially a fifth round of funding? Do you have confidence that that's going to occur?
Absolutely. Absolutely have confidence that that's going to occur. The thing that's very scary is, Sam, think about this. Our city, the city of Las Vegas, the county of Clark, the largest county in our state, and we only have 17 counties. The biggest tourism, we had 50 million last year. How long, Sam, is it going to take for people to be able to travel and safely and be able to come back to Vegas? Now, I personally think, Sam, Las Vegas, Southern Nevada is the place to recover because it's hot and dry. Where I think that with this particular virus, it doesn't like heat. At the same time, it's going to be pretty shaky for a little while, and I don't see it getting better before it gets worse.
You sit on the board of the Convention Authority, correct? Still, Matt Maddox came out with an op-ed yesterday that was very thoughtful and described ways that, for Wynn Resorts at least, did he suddenly become the leader of the Resort Association by that press release? Because there were very thoughtful ways of reopening.
Yeah, so I don't know if he was the leader. I think it is a great, thoughtful way of reopening. From what I've heard, our casinos are looking at trying to gear up to at least a 20% occupancy. I know some of the Wynn employees have received letters to be prepared to get back to work on the 15th. But how many employees will that be? I mean, if they're only going to gear up 20%, that tells me they're only going to gear up 20% of their employment forces as well. So what happens with these folks that, because it's a ripple effect, Sam. So you have a person that's out of work. So the eviction courts have been closed down. So no evictions can go through. But once all the courts start opening up again, and all of a sudden this person has to make 2 or 3 months worth of rent payments and can't, it's going to be challenging. And we definitely want to make sure, understand the landlords have their mortgages to pay too. So, I don't think so much it's landlords being horrible, as I think there's a lot of non-communication. And let's not forget the landlords. The landlords have to pay that mortgage. I've been a landlord, and it's really difficult when you have to make a mortgage. It's not a house that's paid off, and you have a tenant that can't make the payment. And now all of a sudden, as a landlord, you have 2 mortgages or 3 mortgages.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and continue on this topic right after this timeout.
Because of UMC, I'm putting my free time to good use.
Because of UMC, she keeps me on my toes.
Because of UMC and this guy, I'm here.
UMC, the highest level of care in Nevada.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Michele Fiore. She is Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Las Vegas. Michele, you were talking about businesses and private people needing to pay mortgages and rents, etc. We've seen a lot of people in northern Nevada who are owners of properties allowing, for example, restaurants in particular to go rent-free for the time being to keep them afloat. Are you seeing a lot of that in southern Nevada as well?
No, not at all, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So in southern Nevada, it's not rent-free. It's negotiate to figure out how you're going to make up your rent. So it's rent-free because people that were working that are not working are expected to get an unemployment check with a $600 a week stimulus to basically get them whole again. Unfortunately, we've seen here in southern Nevada people that don't even work, that just get their Social Security checks, that have no difference in their monthly income, think that this is a free ride as well. And it's become a problem. It wasn't really, a lot of misinformation has gotten out there, and southern Nevada is taking a big hit.
Do you see that changing as the reality of the situation becomes more and more apparent, which is that we're not going to be in a situation where if we have tons of vacancies that there are going to be people ready to rush in and fill those vacancies. So if you're a mortgage holder of a piece of property, doesn't it make sense for you to want to negotiate with your tenant so that you can then go back to your person who's holding your mortgage and say, okay, here's our situation, we got to cut a deal?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt, I think that that's the route to go, Sam. But unfortunately, I have gotten calls from both ends. I've gotten calls from the landlords and I've gotten calls from the tenants. And the calls from the landlords is they just lock their door and won't answer it and won't answer the phone and meanwhile they know, like in a specific apartment, all the mail goes to the front desk. They know that their regular income is coming in and they just think it's a free-for-all right now, and it's not a free-for-all.
Do you have concerns about civic unrest? Have there been discussions with Metro about the potential for civic unrest?
No, I have to tell you, the majority of southern Nevada, I can speak for, they really have diligently tried to get along and go the extra step like Vegas Strong, and to, obey the directives that are out there. I don't think there's going to be civil unrest. I mean, even if you look at our churches, church and state are separate, period. I mean, if any one of our churches wanted to actually make a constitutional stand on, we're going to have service, in the long run, sure, it would be horrible, but in the long run, they would win that argument. None of our churches down here have even, church versus state. They are just really making sure everyone is comfortable and everyone is safe. What I do see a lot of is, and this is something that we need to practice, love. We need to practice a lot more love, Sam. What I do see is I see people that are at home attacking people that are out. When Victoria and I were bike riding yesterday, we got a couple of comments, you're not 6 feet apart. Okay, well, I have to show up to work every day, just like our first responders, because when someone needs food, I'm going to deliver it. When someone needs something, I'm a servant, Sam. I'm not, I just don't get to not show up for work. When you sign up to be a representative of the people, you truly are a servant, and every representative should be showing up, in my opinion, for their people that they're representing. So I think that if you want to stay home and locked down, I respect that. I respect that with 100%. That's where your mind is. And if people want to walk and go out and get fresh air, please respect that. But there's no reason for any hate or, just nonsense and attacks. And I mean, just like, our favorite blogger, Ralston, did a satire, didn't even say it was a satire, making fun of the mayor, myself, the councilwoman, and Brad Jervik. I mean, really? How is anyone going to take that blogger seriously when he does that?
And we will leave that thought hanging in the air. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Come visit Design Outdoor's store and backyard to see our wide selection of fire pits, barbecues, and pizza ovens, natural stone water features and fountains, and frost-proof pottery. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
One of the most psychologically damaging things parents can do to children in divorce is disparage one another, which is why I can't believe I even have to make this commercial. Half of your kids' genetics come from this person you're spewing hate about. Your children have the right to love you both, but more than that, they deserve to love themselves.
Marilyn York might be a men's rights divorce attorney, but this is for every selfish parent. Shut up!
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Michele Fiore. She's the Mayor Pro Tem of Las Vegas. What we've seen so far in terms of businesses being open are post offices, Costco's, grocery stores, etc. And they're all practicing social distancing. They're all limiting the number of people who are in the building at a certain time together. Do you see that it would be prudent to start opening up other businesses the same way? For example, I was talking to a hairdresser the other day who said, my station is 8 feet wide. There is no reason why I can't have a person coming in. They would be socially distanced. I have another barber who says, I only have one person at a time in my shop. Do you think that we can open up slowly with some of these businesses?
Absolutely. And then here's another thing. There's a very popular salon called Sola Salon. And Sola Salon literally is an individual, 10 by 10 room where it's only one person in that room, in that space, which is concealed. So Sola Salon, in my opinion, should have never been shut down to begin with. And there's several of them. Again, I think that we do need to start opening up, and I have full confidence that our governor is going to start doing that. I have full confidence of that. I just think, and let me tell you, we've pushed our city manager, we've pushed his back up against the wall, and we said, listen, we need to help any people that are in the gray area, and if they are listed as non-essential, like liquor stores or vitamin stores, they need to be able to deliver. So we've been trying to save anyone that is licensed in the city of Las Vegas, period. There's, when this is all over and we lose a third of our businesses because we couldn't create a way, we couldn't get creative enough for them to stay in business, it's difficult. To
say the least. Last quick thought. Are you optimistic that within the next 90 days that there'll be some semblance of normalcy in the state of Nevada?
Yes, I'm actually optimistic in the next 2 weeks that we're going to be gearing up and opening up everything cautiously, of course, with a plan. But again, remember, Sam, all of the bad things that have ever happened here on Earth, I'll say, right? Because we've had World War I, World War II. We've had a lot of bad things happen. We've never shut the planet down, basically. I mean, all these countries have been shutting down. And so this has never, ever happened. So this is very new. And I think we're going to start working on being normal in the next 2 weeks. And at the same time, we have to be very cautious that no one gets sick. And again, and especially, when you look at the death rate in Nevada, I really want people to understand who died, maybe not their name, but they had a heart attack, they had lung cancer. I really want people to understand people that have major underlying conditions, like my mom, okay? We have to quarantine and protect them first before we quarantine the world.
And that's where we have to leave it. Michele, thank you so much for doing this. I look forward to talking to you again soon under better circumstances. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
And we'll be right back.
A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hey, Dad? What are you learning? This place is great. Huh? You gotta try this.
Wow, this stuff is great. People are gonna love it.
Yes. Yes, they will.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Watch Nevada Newsmakers on YouTube. You can do that now these days. We'll see you on the next broadcast.